Felicity from Bankery Spinal Health, and what I want to talk to you today about is what we do with babies in our clinic. We get asked this all the time, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through a video, and this is the assessment that we do with a baby in our infant drop-in clinic. Okay, so I get the mum to strip the baby down to the nappy. And we never take the nappy off for obvious reasons, and we lie the baby down on the baby cushion. So the first thing I do, and this is really predominantly what our assessment is made up of, is observation. So we try and get the baby nice and relaxed on the cushion. I prefer to work with a baby that has been changed and fed. So they are not hungry and they are not crying. This is not always easy to do, but in an ideal world, this is what I prefer. So we're observing the baby. Here's what I'm looking for. Any obvious asymmetries, any banana-shaped babies, so any babies who you can see they've got tension on one side of their torso, so their legs are pulled over one way, or their head and shoulders are pulled over one way. We're checking to see if the baby is favoring its head one way or the other. I'm checking for any asymmetries in the face. Sometimes with really serious, we call it plagiocephaly, it's a flat head. So if you have quite a significantly flat-headed baby, the asymmetries can show up in their face. So we're looking for that too. We're also looking to make sure that the baby's doing normal involuntary movements. Babies tend to move quite randomly when they're infants, and that's completely normal, and we're looking out for that. We're checking for any areas that don't seem to be moving, although I've never had that in my clinic yet. So after we've done that, we're going to start our global tension checks. So we take one leg and we're bringing it up to the opposite shoulder. So we're doing this basically, and the shoulder that's on the same side as the leg that we're moving should more or less stay where it is. So we're doing this. This is normal if this shoulder more or less stays where it is. If the baby does this, then we know we've got tension on that side of the body, usually in the back, but sometimes in the torso and the front as well. So we're doing that on both sides. And we mix that with the observation of the position of the baby that we've observed. That goes down in the notes so we can document where we think the tension patterns are. We're then going to move the arms. So one arm comes up to the head, like this. Babies should be able to do this with little effort. Some babies you find it's quite stuck, and that can be tension around the shoulder or the middle back here. What I would then do is I would ask the parent if it was okay for me to lift the baby up. So I would take the baby, supporting its head depending on the age, bring the baby up and just give the baby a quick cuddle like this. I'm feeling for tone. There's quite a wide range of normal when it comes to tone in babies, but once you see a few of them, you know what's normal and you know what's not. So we're just checking for tone. Again, I'm just seeing if the baby is favoring one way or the other. I'm seeing what their head control is like, and I'm bringing them back down. You might see me with slightly older babies taking them by the hands and the forearms and just lifting them up like this to see if they can maintain that head control. We're looking for them not to lag the head back like that. They should be able to control it after a certain age. So I would do that. So after I've picked them up, I would then turn them round and put them onto their front. Now, I wouldn't obviously leave them face down like this. I would always prop their arms up, and most babies, nearly all babies, will turn one side or the other. If I have already flagged concerns about them favouring one side, at this point I will also be observing which side the baby ends up going on, and if I think they're favouring one way, what I'll do is I'll try and turn them the other way nicely to see if they then prefer to flip back round, because that's a more definitive test to see if they're favouring one side. From this angle, from this position with the baby, I will also be checking the pelvis. You might see me bring the nappy down a little bit, and I'll actually squeeze their butt cheeks together, and I'm just looking for the crease to be equal on both sides. and I'm looking for the line in the middle of the butt to be straight. So what I'll also do is I'll just run my fingers up the spine, just checking for any areas of obvious tension. I'll have a little feel around the shoulders, and I'll remember, oh, that one shoulder was a bit tight. How does it feel here? Yep, there's a bit of tension there, so I'll know where to work. We're also checking the creases in the thighs. So a lot of babies have thigh creases and they should be equal on both sides. So we're checking for that. Like I said, I'll have another look at their head. So I'll have a little feel around the head. Okay, so then I'll pick the baby up again and I'll lay them back down with their head up towards me this time. So what I'll do is I'll take my pads of my fingers and I will go onto the back of their neck and very, very gently, I'll just have a feel up their neck. I'll do some very gentle movements. I'll rotate the head both ways to make sure that babies should be able to rotate their heads both ways. But again, if I've got a baby who I think their head is stuck one way, I'll try and move the baby's head one way and they might not like it and the whole body comes up as well, because the baby's maybe uncomfortable or they're not able to turn their head. So we'll really be checking for that as well. This is another opportunity for me to have a feel of the suture lines along the head, to make sure that there aren't any bumpy bits, any overlapping sutures, any sutures that have fused before they should. We'll be feeling a lot for that. And I'll be feeling the muscles underneath the jaw. I'll be feeling all around the sides of the jaw. What I'll then do is I'll put on a pair of my gloves and I'll put my pinky in and let the baby suck my pinky. We also, in our clinic, run through the Alison Hazel Baker tongue tie assessment, which I won't go through in this video, but I can do another video about that, which involves us having a look at the tongue and doing certain tests with the tongue. So we do that with gloves on, and we have a little feel in the baby's mouth and let them suck our finger. We assess their suck. And that's pretty much it. I would probably bring the baby back round and I would, at this point, I would hand, depending on how the baby was, if the baby didn't seem very happy, I'd hand the baby back to mum for a cuddle whilst I explain to mum what I found and what I think we're going to do about it. And then we can have a discussion about how to move forward. So I hope that was helpful. Do let me know what you think. And that is basically just quite a simplified version of an assessment that we would do with a baby. If we find anything in particular, we might assess a particular area in more detail. But that was just a very general overview of the sort of thing that we do. So in further videos, I'll go through the tongue tie assessment that we do and I'll talk about specific areas a bit more. But yeah, for the time being, I hope that was helpful and I'll see you soon. Okay, thanks.